Hardcore Lies.
Hey guys, Rob and Georgia here with you, aka VHS82 apostrophe. I am your regular Wednesday evening host here at Body Bags. It is week 564. It is a year all week long, and the year is 1979. So videos will drop throughout the week, all from the year 1979, which is really cool. I thought I would take another look, at a film that has really grown on me over this last year and a half or 2 years, whatever. And that is this wonderful little pickup. I think Scorpion put it out. Pretty sure Scorpion put it out on DVD. Yeah, I got the cheap one, man. Killer Fish, Antonio Margheriti, King of Miniatures. Dude, there's so much going on in this movie, man. Lee Majors, for one, man. If you're my age, of course, born in 1970, Lee Majors figures huge in your life in the mid-late 70s. Of course, a bionic $6 Million Man, among many things. I never really tapped. One of the reasons why I wanted this, not just because of it's a Margheriti film and I'm building up my Margheriti collection, but I was astounded to see that Lee Majors was in it, and I had never seen him in a film outside of The $6 Million Man. Also, of course, I've gotten to know Karen Black really well. House of a Thousand Corpses and a few other things. She's in it. Margaux Hemingway, the granddaughter of Ernest Hemingway. James Franciscus, the great James Franciscus. Roy Brocksmith, Ollie, who's a standout character in here. But you got everything in this movie, man. This is an Italian, I think it's an Italian, French, Brazilian production. You've got a hurricane, tornado, a dam collapses, plane crashes, tons of explosions, tons of miniatures galore, and you got piranhas running amok. I mean, what else could you want, man? I mean, it has everything a kid would want in a movie, man. So basically, if you've never seen Killer Fish, basically what you got here is the opening scene is a jewel heist that is I think it's performed flawlessly, actually. The plan is to basically James Franciscus's character, who works for this company, I can't remember exactly what kind of a plant, if it's an oil plant or something. This is something, but he has since removed himself from this, retired, but he has a plan to basically heist a cache load of jewels that are hid there in the safe that has taken decades to crew up, a substantial piece of wealth. So he puts together the ultimate team, and while he's playing backgammon with some pretty prestigious people at a hotel, they do it, right, man? They do it, and it's a perfectly, almost nearly flawless executed jewel heist. The plan is there is a reservoir nearby, and they will drop the jewels, anchor it to the bottom of this reservoir. The idea is in 2 months they'll all reconvene, pull the jewels up out of the water, and divide it up, and move on their merry way. Very, very rich and very, very happy. But, you know, if you remember the movie A Simple Plan, which would be I guess that would be a really good accompanying or double feature with Killer Fish, is watch A Simple Plan, a Sam Raimi film. You know, when you have assembled a team together, and as Karen Black's character emphasizes, trust is mandatory. You have to be able to trust one another to see it through completely to the very end. Well, James Franciscus's character, he decides to take out an insurance policy. He, in his own little private residence, has fish tanks galore. He has his own little private stock of exotic piranha, and he decides to drop 30 or so in the reservoir, which, will multiply rapidly. And by the time our story really kicks into gear, there's probably tens of thousands of these things streaming all throughout the reservoir. And this is an insurance policy, so if anyone in the group team decides to go after the jewels, they'll have a hard time getting them, especially if they don't know there are piranha in the water. And that's exactly what happens. And the minute the first one is lost, it begins a domino effect that will ultimately lead to some of the things that I've already mentioned here. Just one of the great finales of Italian filmmaking, man, where you just have if it can go wrong and happen, it all does, man. Hurricane comes raging through, you got tornadoes, dams ripping apart, our main character stuck on a boat, man, piranhas everywhere, intrigue and backstabbing galore. It just and a great ending, where those who ought to get some just desserts have gotten their just desserts, and those who have earned the right to sail off into the sunset, so to speak, or fly off into the sunset, so to speak, have gotten just that. It's a fun movie, man. It's got some great moments. The encounters with the piranha are pretty actually work to great effect. There is a sequence which involves Karen Black scuba diving, going after. Now, they've taken precautions by this point in the story, but the piranha do show up. Now, this apparently was filmed in a pool where they sort of layered the bottom with weeds and everything. It's quite convincing, man. I never once thought, I just figured maybe they shot at the bottom of some shallow lake or something. But no, it's a pool. And the miniatures, man, throughout this movie. But anyways, that scene with Karen Black is pretty wild. The piranhas come in, and she's got a sort of antidote, a chemical she releases in the water to sort of push them back. And by the time she gets up out of the water, and James Franciscus's character pulls her up, they're sort of like a pair, right? She is in about hysterics, as anyone would be, right? Dealing with that mess. It's just great, man. The death sequences in terms of the piranhas, Ollie, Roy Brocksmith's character, very, very overweight set guy who's a photographer for the Margaux Hemingway character, who is a famous model of sorts. His death sequence is quite memorable. And very sad, because he's one of those that you just don't want to see die. There's no reason for him to die, but he's part of the collateral damage is the word I was thinking of. So anyways, good stuff, man. By the way, it is a Fawcett-Majors production, which, for someone my age, man, just, opens up all the memories, man, of Lee Majors, Farrah Fawcett. They'd get married and actually had a production company, put out several films. This one might be one of the more notable ones, though, more successful ones. It's kind of neat to think that the $6 Million Man, as I got to know him, I had the toy and everything as a small kid, man. You could look through the back of the head, through the eye, and, kind of get the idea that you were seeing things in a way that as a result of his bionics, right? It's kind of neat to think that as I grow and love Italian cinema, Lee Majors, man, one of my childhood heroes, ultimately gets to work with the famed Antonio Margheriti, which is really, really cool. And Karen Black as well. And some of these characters, man, are characters that Rob Zombie would put to work, and he does not get the credit he deserves for renewing careers. To think of what Sid Haig was doing when Zombie recruited him for House of Thousand Corpses, what he was doing then, and what his short period of life that remained in front of him, what he was able to do artistically as an actor, it's just, compliments to Rob for putting some of these people to work that we're, quite frankly, wondering if they'd ever get a phone call again. So anyways, Killer Fish, Antonio Margheriti, I know there's better releases out there than this, but this is the one that I champion right now. My Scorpion release on DVD, and it really doesn't have much on there. There's a lengthened interview with Frank Pesce being done by William Lustig, so that's pretty cool. Anyways, Killer Fish, man, 1979. One notable mention here, when I was 9 years old in 79, I didn't see Alien when it was running theatrically, but I must have gone to the theater to see something else, and of course seeing that toy in the box office window, the box window there, that toy alone gave me nightmares. So I was already quickly being prepped for what would be the 80s as they would unfold, right? Some good times, man. As always, man, we end these things off with Go Bills.